Welcome back, Cules. Big news coming out of Camp Nou. Barcelona are reportedly working on a blockbuster move for Liverpool star Luis Díaz, with rumors of a staggering $94 million agreement on the table. Is the Colombian winger set to light up La Liga? But that's not all. Barca have a ticking clock. Just 23 days left to secure a €25 million deal for a top defensive target, and the pressure is mounting. And in a feel-good story, Frenkie de Jong has received massive praise from inside the club, called a 10 as a person and 100 as a player by none other than Sergi Dominguez. Could this be a sign that Frenkie is staying? Stick around as we break down all the latest transfer drama, deadlines, and player insights you don't want to miss. The latest Liverpool transfer reports surround Luis Díaz and his plans to leave the club this summer. Barcelona has already expressed its interest in the player, but concluding a deal will not be straightforward. Luis Díaz continues to be at the center of Liverpool's transfer buzz, even as the Reds officially kick off preseason training. Due to the recent tragic events that impacted the team, the atmosphere at the AXA Training Centre on Tuesday was understandably quiet, with limited media coverage and very few photos released. That's left fans wondering, was Díaz even present? Well, whether he was there or not, he's still making headlines far from Merseyside. While speaking with Colombian influencer Mauricio Gomez, the 28-year-old dropped a telling update on his future. He said, "We're in negotiations. We'll see what can be achieved for both myself and the club. We want to make the best possible decision." Pushed on whether Barcelona or Al Nassr are possible destinations for Díaz, he replied, "We're in the process of negotiations, talking with the club, with Liverpool, with everyone who's approaching us. But I'm very calm where I am, very happy. Trying to make the best decision now." It comes amid a plethora of reports from Spain that Barcelona will push to sign Díaz this summer. The club haven't exactly been shy in expressing its admiration for the Liverpool winger, something sporting director Deco has publicly acknowledged. Meanwhile, Spanish outlet Cadena SER claims a gentleman's agreement is in place between the player and Liverpool that an offer in excess of €80 million, $94M/£69M, will be accepted. It comes after Nico Williams' potential move from Athletic Bilbao was ruled out last week when he signed a new long-term contract at the Basque club. Now Barca must direct its attention elsewhere. AS reports the Spanish champions are working with Díaz's agent to agree a draft contract. Although the attacker would demand a compensation clause in case his registration cannot be agreed in time. The Nico Williams saga showed that Barcelona have money to spend this summer, despite their well-documented financial problems. Having already spent €25 million on Joan Garcia, the La Liga champions had been prepared to pay €62 million for the winger before he signed a new deal with Athletic Club. But despite this, those funds have not disappeared. As well as signing a new left winger, Barcelona intend to address their defensive options, particularly at right back. Jules Koundé is the undisputed starter, but in Eric Garcia and Hector Fort, his backups can be improved upon. And that is where Denzel Dumfries comes into the equation. Dumfries, who haunted Barcelona during their Champions League semi-final defeat to Inter last season, has a €25 million release clause, and according to reports, the Catalans are considering whether to activate this. Denzel Dumfries' release clause has a time limit. Barcelona's interest in Dumfries is concrete, but they are running out of the time to make a move to sign him. As per Sky Italia via Sport, the release clause that the 29-year-old has is only active until the 31st of July, meaning that there are only 23 days remaining until it runs out. Inter are not expected to consider selling Dumfries upon the expiry of his €25 million release clause, meaning that Barcelona will quickly need to make a decision on the matter. Deal relies on defender exit. At this stage, Barcelona would like to sign Dumfries, but despite having the money available to pay his release clause, they will not sanction a move unless one of their defenders leave. Andreas Christensen and Ronald Araujo are candidates, and if either one were to depart in the coming weeks, it would free up a significant portion of salary space that would make it more likely for the Netherlands international to be registered upon arrival in Catalonia. Frenkie de Jong isn't just a great player, he's an incredible human being too. Off the pitch, he's humble and grounded, a real class act. And on the field? He's world class. Sergi Dominguez couldn't have put it better. Frenkie's a perfect 10 as a person and a 100 as a footballer. Frenkie de Jong has often been criticized during his time at Barcelona but is regularly praised by those who've had the privilege of playing alongside him. Young defender Sergi Dominguez, who has just sealed a move away from the club, has become the latest to hail de Jong and says he's unbelievable on and off the pitch. Everyone speaks wonders about him, But until you see him training you don't realize I think he's incredible, he told Gigantes. As a person he is a 10 and as a player a 100. Dominguez also spoke about trying to learn Hansi Flick's famous high line during his time at the club and admitted there's little time to practice. We started training the line this far forward in the United States a little, but not a lot, and then we played every 3 days, he added. We weren't doing it every day. If you're a good player you have to adapt quickly. They explain it to you 4 times, the first 2 games you get it and then it has to come out because you have to be involved if you want to play. The defender has since moved on Dinamo Zagreb where he'll be hoping to make an impact and play regularly. So, can Barca pull off the Luis Díaz transfer? Will they beat the clock to land their €25 million defensive target? And what does Sergi Dominguez's praise really mean for Frenky's future? The summer transfer window is heating up fast, and Barcelona fans have a lot to watch for. Let us know in the comments, who do you want to see join Barca this summer? And should the club break the bank for Díaz? Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss the latest from Camp Nou. Welcome back to the channel, Cules. The news coming out of Barcelona today is absolutely explosive. A Real Madrid legend is publicly praising a young Barcelona prodigy, saying he's never seen anything like it at that age. A forgotten midfielder has just been summoned back by the club for medical tests. Is Xavi planning a surprise reintegration? And Luis Díaz is now making demands to push through his dream move to Camp Nou. This transfer window just keeps getting better. Let's break down everything happening at Barcelona right now. In a recent interview with La Gazzetta dello Sport, hat-tip DAZN, former Real Madrid and Germany midfielder Toni Kroos gave his thoughts on the rise of Barcelona's young star Lamine Yamal. Kroos retired from professional football a year ago after an exceptional career with Real Madrid and the German national team. Kroos amazed by Lamine Yamal. Although he no longer takes to the pitch, Kroos' words still carry considerable weight in the football world. And the veteran icon did not hold back in his praise for Lamine Yamal. The two briefly shared the pitch as rivals, not only in the Clásicos but also at the UEFA Euro 2024, where Lamine proved to be a nightmare for Germany and played a key role in eliminating them from the tournament. The Spaniard, just 16 years old at the time, was one of the stars of the tournament. Spain's victory over Germany in the quarterfinals marked Kroos' final match as a professional. I also made the Bayern first team at 17, but I wasn't at his level, which is spectacular. I've never seen anything like it at that age. I'm talking about the consistency of his performances, because the natural talent is obvious, Kroos admitted. Continuing, he added, "What makes me think that this boy is special is his constant search for prominence on the pitch. In difficult moments he always steps up, and at 17 years of age that is not normal. He was the protagonist of 2 excellent seasons, the last one even spectacular. I have never seen a kid like him." At the same time, Kroos also reflected on the long-term challenges young stars face as he noted, "I always say that a career is not a sprint but a marathon, so we will see what happens in the next 5 to 10 seasons, if he continues to grow and how he reacts to everything that comes into football from outside. Success doesn't only depend on the pitch, it depends on what happens outside. It has a big impact and you have to know how to handle different aspects of life." Barcelona, summon, forgotten midfielder for medical tests. The brass at La Liga giants Barcelona have contacted forgotten midfielder Oriol Romeu to call for his return for a pre-season medical check. That's according to Diario Sport, who have on Tuesday provided an insight into the situation. Midfielder Romeu for his part finds himself in something of a precarious situation at present. Following a loan spell on the books of Girona in the 2024-25 season, the former Southampton man has since returned to base in Barcelona, with a year remaining on his contract. The problem for Romeu though, is that he does not feature in the plans of the Blaugrana in any way, shape or form. Not only that, but no clubs have yet come knocking to try to land the 33-year-old with a view to next season. The fact remains though that Romeu is a Barcelona player. And as alluded to above, owing to precisely as much, he has this week been summoned back to base in Catalonia, for routine pre-season activities. As per a report from Sport, Oriol Romeu will be part of the medical tests this coming Sunday with the rest of his Blaugrana teammates. It remains to be seen whether the Spaniard is also afforded a call-up for pre-season training with Hansi Flick's squad. Luis Díaz makes demand to seal Barcelona move. According to a report from AS, Luis Díaz is all set to snub Bayern Munich to join Barcelona as long as the Catalan club agrees to his demands. While he is not pushing for a release clause, he is looking for compensation if the Spanish club fails to register him in time for the new season. Díaz made a name for himself at FC Porto, and on the back of his impressive rise, Liverpool forked out €55 million to add him to their squad. Over the years, he has only gone from strength to strength and has been a key part of their first team. Last season, he was involved in a total of 50 matches under Arne Slot and even contributed towards 25 goals. While the 28-year-old still has 2 years left on his deal and the Dutch manager is keen on having him around, Díaz looks set for a move away from the club. The Reds are looking to offer him a new deal, but contract renewal talks have not gone as planned so far, with the Colombian feeling underpaid and now ready to take the next step in his career. Barcelona are one of the clubs that have been linked with him for some time now. The Catalan Giants are looking to add more quality on the flanks. They were after the signature of Nico Williams but failed to strike a deal for the Spanish Giants. As a result, they have shifted their entire focus to Luis Díaz, who has been in talks with Bayern Munich of late. Following the injury to Jamal Musiala, the German Giants are looking to sign the Colombian international to fill that void. Díaz makes his demands known. They have reportedly agreed on personal terms with the 28-year-old. However, the deal is far from done and Barcelona are still in the picture. Díaz has a long-standing desire to join the Catalan Giants and will give them preference as long as they meet his demands. The Spanish club are already in talks with his agents as they look to draft a contract in case Liverpool are open to negotiating his departure this summer. While Díaz is not seeking a release clause that would make him a free agent if Barcelona failed to register him by August 31st, he is looking for compensation. The Catalan Giants will have to promise him additional funds if they fail to include him in their squad. While he is willing to wait amid their financial difficulties, the 28-year-old will only do so if he receives fair compensation. And that's the full picture from Camp Nou today. With legends praising our young stars, old names being brought back into the mix, and big players like Luis Díaz setting terms, Barcelona's project is clearly evolving fast. But what do you think? Should Barca meet Díaz's demands? Is the forgotten midfielder worth a second chance? And who do you think the Madrid legend was talking about? Let us know in the comments, smash that like button, subscribe for more updates, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a Barca bombshell. See you next time, and as always,